lot of people who ask me to give a video on me working with some embroidery. It's been something I've been wanting to try to do video wise to show you guys. This one is just like a kit my best friend gave me for my birthday, and I know I've got these really long nails, but we're gonna make it work. I've been able to really find different ways to relax and, you know, just kind of like weed through a lot of my thoughts on my good days and my bad days. And it's just, embroidery is just kind of given me a way to work on something without having to create the design from scratch. From being a designer and also being like an artist, it's just nice to kind of have something to do that doesn't require all of my designer brain to work on. So I'm just sitting here on my couch. This is the kit, and it comes with its own embroidery thread. You'll see it like this. If you've never bought a kit before, this is just kind of how they give you like pre-string kind of stuff, and that way too you can just kind of follow the template, and then you don't have to like buy anything. So that's kind of like the cool thing about buying kits. Comes with all the things you need. Like, here's 2 needles on the side. I bought the scissors myself, but this kit did come with other scissors as well that I like. I believe they're over here somewhere, but maybe I'll show it later. I also bought one of these. I got this from Walmart. These are just one of those old school like tomato things where you can put all your pins in. They apparently just have sawdust in them, and that really helps to keep your needles still pointed and not have any dull needles after a while. So we're just gonna get started. The kit I'll probably link down below. And this is kind of like a little booklet that they give you talking about different types of stitches that you'll work on or have in your kit, so that way you kind of have like an idea. Personally, I like to just go on YouTube and find different videos of how people go about these different types of stitches. Like, there's going to be a lot of like leaf stitches with this. It's actually a cat just sitting amongst a lot of like cute flowers and foliage. Let's see, tubes. I do believe I have the actual printout of it. It will also come with this page too, and it'll have a description of each embroidery. So it'll say like, oh, this is like a French knot, this is like a satin stitch, this is like a stem stitch. Stem stitches are pretty common when it comes to doing a lot of leaves, is what I've noticed. Satin stitches are pretty simple, and they don't require you to do a lot. You just have to kind of work the needle based upon the pattern. So I'm just going to try and do this and show you guys. There's also other different ways, and it's broken down in other ways for you to learn how to do the stitches if you're more visual like me. But let's get started. So I'm gonna get one of these needles. I think I want to start with, I'd like to start on the cat, but I think that would not be very helpful to start with. So I might just start with my favorite thing, which is like doing leaves. So I think I might do some of these leaves over here or on the outside of the kitty, and we'll just go from there. Hopefully you like this video, share this video. This is for, you know, me and just having some time to spend with you guys. So hope you enjoy. And let's see, so that color is here, so probably going to use more of this darker green here, number 4. So I'm just going to come here, and the cool thing about these is that they're divided out. They'll even tell you what number stitch and colors to use. For the green leaf, it looks like this is number 4, so I was right. So you're just going to grab this, and you don't need the whole thing, but that's just a way to take it off. And here you have like a couple of strands, So one thing I learned pretty early on when doing stitches is that sometimes when you're working with especially when working with embroidery, you have 6 strands that are given to you in each piece of embroidered floss. So with it having 6 strands, it's best that you come here, kind of grab the full thing, and you're going to learn how to basically divide it into 3. Dividing it into 3 is good because it gives you a way to, one, be able to keep more thread, so you're not spending so much money in case, like, let's say you mess up and things happen. These beginner kits are super cool and super easy, but there are times too when, you just make mistakes. It's happened to me on some of my pieces before. And it's no big deal if you have to buy a same thing or a different color. But if you're dividing out your string like this, you're saving yourself a ton of money in the amount of floss you buy. Now, floss is really not that expensive, but let's say you could not, you just couldn't get more than you wanted to out of this thread, or you messed up a few times while trying to figure it out and doing like a particular stitch and it just wasn't working, so maybe you're all out of spoons or all out of funds to get that. Well, at least dividing the thread, which can be difficult sometimes, as you can see how I'm kind of struggling with this, is that essentially it can kind of get tangled really easily, which is no big deal. It just is a kind of thing. You can't always cut it. And to embroidery floss is not super duper expensive, but I can understand if you don't have the spoons, or maybe you don't live near a craft store, how you just kind of want to stick with what you've got. My personal thing that I did when I got my first kit back in December of 2021 is that I essentially just bought extra thread off Amazon along with my kit, just in case I needed like different colors, or if I wanted to use different colors. Sometimes I stray away from what the kit gives me. That's just kind of my artistic brain to kind of keep me from being bored. But okay, so now you have 2 3-strand pieces, and now we can go ahead and thread our needle. Now, I'm kind of old school. Like, I understand that there are some people who can like eyeball this kind of thing, but this is just not me. I'm not that girl. So I like to come in here and use my threader. You can also get these off Amazon. I can link this in the description if you'd like. So what you want to do, you want to take this and you want it to be super duper close, and you want it to go through your needle. And then you want to go and grab this part of your thread, doesn't matter what end. You're going to take it, you're going to grab it, and you're going to put it through. You're going to put it through the threader. Same thing with those little dime thingies are for that you see like in little sewing kits. I had no idea that's what they were for. But good YouTube video rabbit hole taught me a lot about embroidery and doing stuff on the fly. So now that you've now threaded it, so now you can actually have this whole piece. No more eyeballing this kind of thing. Please do not eyeball it. That's what took my first one so long to complete. And what I personally like to do, I know some people just like to take it, make sure it's like even, and I know some people just like to do like a simple knot. Per the witchery, I like to do things in 3s, so I might do this one in 3s by knotting it. If you are like me and have a hard time keeping things together, I still use my little tomato, and I just stick my needle in there, and then it kind of gives me time to hold on to my piece and also hold on to the embroidered floss and do this. Now this is going to be tricky with my city girl nails, but that's okay. One of my friends was telling me, apparently, I guess if you're a seamstress, it's good you have long nails. I was like, do you mean acrylics, girl? I don't know. But for me, this is just really fun, and a little bit of intention to go into the embroidery. So since this is green, you know, you could do some intentions over it. My intention with this is to bring prosperity into my life using this green thread, and by channeling that energy through the thread, I am enacting this type of energy to be in my piece. So I could also use this for protection. I can also use this for, you know, creating solace in my life, foundation, health, wealth. You know, look at my health, look at my wealth, mashallah. Just different ways that you could do that. And this is just embroidering witchery that I'm kind of learning about, incorporating into my pieces, is that I love color magic, and I love, you know, playing around with all these different types of embroidery, and all these different colors just give me an idea to kind of like candles, you know. Just grab a chime candle and you know what color you may need for, maybe it's for gold, maybe it's for money, and you use like gold, or rose gold, or something shiny, maybe even silver if you want, or green. You know, a lot of people do use green, which is totally fine. It's taking me a second just because of my long nails, but that's two. And just one more for good measure. I just like the number 3. I mean, I feel like 3, 6, and 9 are very divine numbers. 3 being a number of manifestation, also being a number of community. You know, may this bring in a community of people that I need to bring in my prosperity. You know, just little wishes like that. It's taking me a second. Hold please, hold please. Okay. I got these long city girl nails. You know, but now we've got this one. Okay, so finally, after doing that, we now have threaded it. Okay, now that we've got our piece flossed done, I'll put that other one away. If you want, you can do another pre-strand. I guess by pre-strand, I mean you could essentially just do 2 of these, so that way you don't have to keep doing them over and over again. Since in this kit, they do give you 2 needles. Some of them you get 4. I will say at least these needles are a lot bigger than the needles I was given in my other kit. I felt like my other kit just had like itty bitty needles made for like magical, like fair, like fae folk or something. And I was like, I mean, I have tiny hands, but like, honey, the needle was like tiny. I was like, oh, okay. So anywho, so we'll start our first stitch. And I think it'd be good to start with this leaf right here. It's a really simple leaf. When it comes to leaves, I'm going to be kind of working a little bit all around. So I'm going to go over here. Okay. And I'm pulling it through. So now it has this little strand right here. When you are done with an entire piece, you're gonna have so much thread all over the place. It's not even funny. So this is gonna be nice, pretty, and clean for now, but this doing 3 knots has given it a way to hold it down and to know, okay, we're stopping here. That's as much thread as we can use. So because there are these cute little like vine designs, we can kind of like make those a little bit different, but I like to go and put my needle kind of in the beginning of the top. I believe this is called the Fishbone Stitch. It's one of my favorites. It's one of the first ones I learned. So it's gonna make this first stitch right here. And then we'll come here to the left side, pull it through. And this will kind of develop as we go through. So you're kind of making this little piece as you go. It kind of already looks like a little bit of a leaf starting off, but this is just kind of how I learned to do this from some YouTube videos I've watched. A lot of people do this differently. I mean, just because the beginner kit says like, oh, you need to do a fishbone stitch, doesn't mean you have to. It might make it easier, but also too, it's totally fine if you want to go off the grid. I mean, it's kind of up to you. That's kind of the one thing I've enjoyed about embroidery, is it's kind of like you can follow the rules and you can do your own thing, and you can kind of change it up if you'd like to. At least I'd like to think so. You want to try and get it close to the very edge of it since you are creating a leaf, but also too, kind of like how I missed one there, I can always add another stitch to make that more full. And I like trying to do this kind of go left and then go right. I don't want to do like all one side personally and do all the other side. I just kind of want to do it evenly as I go throughout the leaf. So you can see kind of back here, this is kind of what it looks like from behind. Feels really nice. Love the texture of this one. This floss is just, it's like really good quality from my opinion. I'm sure other people may say different, but I really like it. But even too, since this has a little bit more, I can probably do about 2 or 3 more stitches before this is kind of left, and I'll still have to have enough to go through here and basically stitch this to where it stays and it doesn't unravel, because you want to have enough tension when you're doing embroidery to make sure that it's still going to keep over time, because that's essentially what you're doing, is making a design that's going to be able to keep for long. And you can see too, kind of like a leaf, because of doing this kind of stitch, I've now created a kind of middle. And you can notice too, that's why I was doing it along the lines of the design. Kind of made it a little bit easier to follow. So I would say this is about time, if not more. So we can kind of just go through here from the bottom and a little bit through the top if you want. It really just does kind of depend. You don't want to mess up the stitch, but it's also okay. Sometimes you will have so many different ones, and then you're going to take it and then you're going to go through this hole right here, and then you're going to pull it, and now you have a knot. Sometimes if you're a little bit like unsure if that will keep, you can do another one just to be safe, because sometimes if you don't have enough tension when doing your embroidery, it can definitely unravel. And you take it and do another one. I like to do 2 on the back, so 3 knots to kind of keep it together, and then 2 on the back to keep it secure, and then you'll just cut it right here. And this is kind of the part where it's kind of up to you. Some people leave the loose ends. I like to come in here and do this portion. That way it still stays, but it's still gonna be tight. And then I like to cut these. These were like our original ends. And yeah, so it's not fully done, but this is basically an idea of how I do embroidery as a city girl on the go. If you would like to see more of this from me, please comment down below in the comment section and let me know what you think of this. Have a great rest of your day, guys.